Hi there and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. While last episode I did talk about how I wanted to start working on Rendezvous, it kind of occurred to me, as you probably saw at the beginning of the video, that you know what, it's probably good we have an abort system. So I've now built on top of what's going to eventually be our Gemini rocket, a little test rocket, a decoupler, the capsule, and then this contraption on the top, which is going to be our abort engine. The whole idea behind the abort engine system is that it's going to very rapidly get the capsule away from the rest of the rocket, and then we can throw that off and launch our chutes just like we were trying to land in a normal configuration. So the way this is done is a little complicated. It's one of the newer features of the game, abort groups, action groups. So you'll see there's an abort action group, and this gives us a bunch of instructions for what we want to actually do to various components if we hit this particular feature. We've also got a custom 1 action group which we can activate by just hitting the 1 key. You'll see that what this does is actually ejects the stage at the top so that we can get a clean we'll get a clean nose cone. Essentially, there's a docking port that's also there because part of this is that it's going to have to be a dockable craft, so it's important that it's actually able to have this abort stage, but also still be docked. So we're going to see how this works out. Now, I have tested this a couple of times because it's kind of embarrassing watching how many times I actually had to test this damn thing to make it work. But I'm going to show you it in action. So we're going to pretend that we're going to just throttle up like normal and launch our craft. Now we can wobble around a little bit. It's all good. Things are going a bit wrong. Oh no! So now we can go up here and click abort, and you'll see that we've detached from our main rocket, and then we can jettison the top of the tower, and our capsule is going to roll around a bit, but then it's going to fall gracefully back to Earth. So it's not the most elegant thing in the world, but it's a lot easier to do an abort with that kind of system in play rather than the kind of system that you might have seen in the first video where I was just basically smacking space as fast as I could and hoping that all the various components would detach cleanly. So this is a much more capable abort system than we've had before. And there we are, we're going to return nice and safe to Earth. Pay no attention to those explosions. We've got to be a little bit careful here that we don't collide into that first stage, but we're reasonably good. Let's add our orbit. Alright, so we've got our burn. Wow, we've got a lot to gain. So let's try and we're going to need our RCS to do this. Try and nudge our way to our point. Probably going to need a fair amount of thrust, so I'm just going to burn this at 1 minute, to be honest. So we'll leave RCS doing its thing. We want to throttle up briefly. So RCS is really struggling to keep this in alignment, but it's doing a moderate job. We'll probably manage to make the orbit that we want in a reasonable amount of time. We'll probably use all of that stage to actually get in orbit, but that does give us about half a tank. We'll just kill it there. So let's have a look at the state of the orbit. What have we managed to do? 178.95. That's actually pretty... whoops, what the hell? Oh, we've switched to the debris. Hello, debris. We didn't actually want to do that. We wanted to switch to Gemini 1, wherever Gemini 1 is. Hello, Gemini 1. That reminds me, we should get rid of the escape tower at this point. There's not really much we can do usefully with that. So that's not too bad. 178.95. We can probably actually put a maneuver there that will just no, actually we'll not worry about doing that just now. We need a maneuver there. We need a maneuver here to just gently slow us down a little bit. The proposed would be 97, 95. That's the maneuver that we want. Cool. Okay. So we've got about a 60 meters per second burn to get us into a circular orbit. That's due in about 18 minutes. We'll be able to use the last of the fuel in the second to last stage in order to achieve that. So that's actually not too bad. How are we going for resources? In this stage only we have got a little bit, so that's not too bad. Haven't had any problem with electrical charge, and we haven't used too much RCS fuel, so that's actually looking pretty good. So we're going to warp around and get to the low point of our orbit, and we're going to go into a circular orbit now. We only need a 60 meter per second burn, so it's looking like it'll be an easy burn to do. In fact, we can probably do it right on top of the oh, actually we overshot our burn. That's okay. We'll just line that up. There we are. So we should now be, we'll be a little bit off, but 94, 102, that's a pretty good position to be in. And we've still got fuel left in our last stage. So there we are. We're now in with Gemini in a fairly stable orbit. It's moderately flat. It's not completely flat, but it's not too bad. So I think what we're going to do is launch a Gemini 2. Actually, we'll launch a docking target. Now that we're in this orbit, we'll put a docking target basically around the place and see how much fuel it's going to take to get us near that docking target. We're going to try and put it in a 100 by 100 kilometer orbit. Could be a little bit optimistic, but we'll see how that goes. So hopefully soon. I'll tell you what, let's take the opportunity to do the burn now. What's wrong with that engine? Do we not have any control over that engine? It's got fuel. Oh, okay. I think we've managed to somehow screw this up so that we don't actually have any control over the craft anymore. Not really sure how that happened. We've still got propellant in that part of the fuel. Oh, okay. Did we fail to deploy the... I think we failed to deploy the... Yeah, we did. Okay, so this isn't going to go too well. This is basically just going to be stuck in orbit from now on. Because we forgot to actually put some electrical power into the whole system. Yeah, I think we have no electricity. So hence... Yeah, we have no electricity, so we're kind of a bit screwed in that sense. So that's just going to be stuck in orbit forever now. So we're going to try and launch a second one, and we'll see whether or not that one works. And this one I might actually put some RCS on. Alright, so we're going to make another attempt at launching the Agena. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, I'm not sure this is going to work. Oh, 483. That was a bit far. Add maneuver. Put enough delta V to give us a little bit of height. 102 looks good. Okay. So we're going to jettison that stage. We're going to use the next stage to yeah, so our final stage will be we're just going to extend our solar panels so that we can actually get some decent energy out of this. So this is our Agena docking target. It's currently doing sun tracking, which is kind of useful. In theory we should be able to dock with the front end of that, but we'll see how that works out.